My wife Madison looked me dead in the eye and said, "Jake, you are the reason I cannot be authentic with my followers. You make me look pathetic." Then I found her secret Google Drive folder titled, Content Gold, Jake's Emotional Abuse. Reddit. I think my wife has been farming our marriage for trauma content to boost her influencer career. I am still shaking as I type this. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so, I am Jake, 29, paramedic with Austin Fire Department. My wife Madison is 28, lifestyle influencer with like 47K followers. We have been married 3 years, together for 5. I thought we had a normal marriage with normal problems, until I accidentally stumbled into her Google Drive yesterday while using our shared laptop to look for our insurance documents. Here is what I found, and I swear I am not making this up. A folder called Content Gold, Jake's Emotional Abuse with 47 video scripts. 47. Titles like When Your Husband Dismisses Your Dreams, Living with a First Responder's Anger Issues, How Emotional Unavailability Nearly Broke Me. There were screenshots of our private text conversations arguments we had when I was exhausted after pulling bodies out of car wrecks with captions like Gaslighting 101 and When He Makes Everything About Him. But here is the part that made me physically sick. There was a spreadsheet. A fucking spreadsheet tracking which Jake's stories got the highest engagement. She had columns for trauma level, relatability score, and monetization potential. Our fights. Our vulnerable moments. The time I came home after losing a patient and just needed to sit in silence. She filmed herself crying about my emotional walls and got 50K views. I have been working 60-hour weeks, picking up overtime to support her creative dreams. When she said she needed better lighting equipment, I worked holidays. When she wanted to attend influencer conferences, I covered the mortgage alone. And this whole time, she has been telling her followers she is financially dependent on an unsupportive partner who doesn't believe in her potential. The worst part. Every time I tried to address problems in our marriage like, hey, maybe don't film TikToks during dinner, or could we have one weekend where you are not content creating, she had turned it into ammunition. Made me feel like I was the problem. Like I was this controlling, unsupportive husband who couldn't handle his successful wife. But she wasn't successful because of her talent or hard work. She was successful because she turned our private pain into public entertainment. I confronted her about it this morning. You know what she said? Everyone does this, Jake. It is called being relatable. My audience needs authentic content. When I asked her how violating our privacy was authentic, she actually rolled her eyes and said, I wouldn't understand the creator economy. Then she hit me with this. Maybe if you were naturally more supportive instead of making me feel like I have to perform gratitude for basic decency, I wouldn't need to process our relationship publicly. What? I am making her perform. She has literally been performing our entire marriage for an audience. Reddit? Am I crazy here? Is this normal for influencer couples? Because I feel like I have been living in some twisted reality show where I didn't know I was the villain. Everyone was supposed to hate. We haven't spoken since this morning. She has been in her content room all day, probably editing another video about how her husband doesn't support her healing journey or whatever. I don't know what to do. Part of me loves her, but I feel so betrayed I can barely look at her. How do you come back from finding out your spouse has been monetizing your trauma? Update 1. Hey Reddit, after reading your comments, and there were so many thank you, I started digging deeper into Madison's barely breaking even influencer career. What I found made me physically sick, and I need to get this out because it is eating me alive. She has been earning between $8,000 and $12,000 per month for the last 18 months. $12,000 per month. While I have been killing myself with overtime, working holidays, literally missing family events to cover our expenses, because she said her content wasn't monetized yet, I found a business checking account I didn't know existed. She has got partnerships with therapy apps, self-care brands, even a fucking mattress company, all sponsorships she got by talking about her sleep struggles, caused by living with someone in a high-stress career who brings negative energy home. But it gets worse. So much worse. I went through her content history more carefully, and guys, she has been running a systematic character assassination campaign against me for over a year. Here is what I found. 23 posts about being emotionally neglected by a partner who prioritizes work over connection, when I am literally saving lives on 24-hour shifts, 15 videos about recognizing gaslighting tactics, featuring screenshots of conversations where I am asking her to help with dishes after I have worked 3 straight days, an entire highlight reel called Healing Journey that chronicles her recovery from emotional abuse while living with an unsupportive partner, multiple posts about being financially controlled by someone who uses money as manipulation while she secretly hoarded nearly $100K the comment sections. You guys, thousands of women calling me a narcissist, telling her she deserves better, sharing their own stories about men like him, and Madison responding with crying emojis, heart hands, saying things like working on boundaries and therapy. We got this, queens. I screenshotted everything because I couldn't believe it was real. But here is the part that broke me. She has been seeing a therapist individually for narcissistic abuse recovery, not couples therapy like I thought that was just for show. She found a therapist who specializes in helping women escape emotional manipulation and has been going twice a week. Building a case that I am the abuser. When I confronted her about the money, she didn't deny it. She said, I deserve compensation for the emotional labor of this marriage. When I pointed out that she has been lying to our families, our friends, and her entire audience about our financial situation, she said, it is not lying. It is protecting my brand. Her brand, Reddit. Our marriage is her brand. The therapist thing though, that is when I really lost it. I asked her point blank, have you been using our couple sessions as content? And she got this look, this guilty, caught look, and said, everything is content, Jake. That is how this works. I called the therapist. Turns out Madison has been recording snippets of our sessions for her healing journey content. Not full sessions. Just little clips of her talking about breakthroughs and setting boundaries with toxic people. The therapist was horrified and said she had no idea Madison was monetizing their work. She said this violated her practice policy and our signed consent forms and could have serious ethical and civil implications. While Texas allows one-party recording, this clearly violated professional boundaries. I don't know what to do here. I feel like I don't know my wife at all. Like I have been married to someone who sees me as a content opportunity, not a person. Every loving thing I have done, every vulnerable moment I have shared, every time I have tried to work on our relationship, she has been calculating how to spin it for her audience. My partner at the fire station, who has been married 15 years, said something that hit me. Jake, normal people don't document their spouse's worst moments for profit. That is not love. That is exploitation. I think I am ready to talk to a lawyer. Update 2. Reddit. I have spent the last 2 weeks consulting with lawyers, financial advisors, and building my support network. Madison has no idea what is coming. And honestly, after what I discovered about her upcoming project, I am done trying to save this marriage. First, the legal stuff. I have got a lawyer now. A good one. Who specializes in divorces involving social media personalities. She says Madison's documentation of our private life without consent, plus the financial deception, gives us a strong case. We are pursuing asset disclosure and potentially a defamation claim if she escalates her content about me. But here is what pushed me over the edge: Madison's planning a content retreat to Tulum next month. I only found out because she left her laptop open to an email thread with her content manager. Yes, she has a fucking content manager now. They are planning a whole series called Healing in Paradise, Recovering from Emotional Abuse. It is a 10-day trip where she will document her journey to rediscovering herself after surviving marriage to a narcissistic first responder. They have already got sponsors lined up. A meditation app, some wellness brand, even a divorce attorney who wants to partner with her on empowering women to leave toxic relationships. She is literally monetizing our divorce before filing for it. The email thread made me sick, her content manager wrote. The audience is really invested in your healing arc. If you decide to leave him, we could probably get you a book deal. Escaping emotional abuse. How I built my dream life after narcissistic marriage. It would be huge. Madison's response. I am not ready to leave yet. The married woman struggling with toxic husband content is performing too well. But I like the book idea for later. She is not ready to leave because I am too profitable as a villain. While she has been planning content retreats, I have been planning my actual exit. Here is what I have done. Financial, separated all my accounts, froze most joint accounts, kept one joint card active per lawyer's advice to document her content-related spending patterns. Turns out she owes about $30K in unreported taxes on her sponsorship income, which is going to be a problem. Living situation. My buddy from the fire station has a garage apartment I can rent month to month. I have already started moving my stuff there quietly, just personal items she will not notice. Evidence. Everything's documented. The Google Drive contents, bank records, screenshots of her planning to monetize our divorce, even some recordings from her phone that show her practicing vulnerable content at home. Support system. This has been the most surprising part. My fire crew has been incredible. They have all seen how Madison's criticism was affecting my work performance. My family's relieved. I am finally seeing through her act. Even some of our mutual friends have reached out privately to say they have been uncomfortable with her public oversharing for years. Madison's sister has been especially helpful. She told me Madison used to do this to her high school boyfriends, document their relationship problems online, and play victim when called out. She said Madison's always been obsessed with being the center of attention and will sacrifice anyone's privacy for sympathy. The most validating conversation was with our old couples therapist, the ethical one, not the individual one she has been manipulating. I explained the situation and she said something I will never forget. Jake, healthy people don't weaponize therapy language against their partners. What you are describing sounds like psychological abuse, disguised as self-care content. Madison still has no idea I know any of this. She has been extra sweet lately, probably gathering content about us working through things before her big Tulum revelation. Yesterday she asked if she could film me making breakfast for her morning routine with my husband series. I said no, and she pouted about me never supporting her creativity. Her creativity, like exploiting your spouse's art. I am serving her papers the day she gets back from Tulum. Let her explain to her audience why her husband left while she was on a healing retreat that cost more than most people's monthly salary. Edit. Several people have asked why I am waiting until after her trip instead of serving her now. My lawyer's advice was to let her go on the expensive Tulum trip using joint credit cards, document her spending on content creation while claiming financial hardship, then serve papers when she returns. It strengthens our case for financial misconduct. Edit 2. For those concerned about her posting more content about me while she is gone, my lawyer has sent cease and desist letters to her and reported her posts to the platforms for harassment and defamation. If she escalates, we have grounds for an emergency restraining order. Final update: she is gone nuclear, Reddit. But not in the way I expected. Madison came back from her Tulum healing retreat yesterday to find divorce papers properly served by a process server, with a copy taped to our front door so she would see immediately, and about half our furniture missing. I only took what was mine, or what I paid for. My lawyer was very clear about this. I wasn't there when she arrived because I am staying at my buddy's place. But our Ring doorbell caught everything, and I mean everything. The footage is, wow. She goes from excited, probably thinking about all the content she created, to confused, seeing the papers, to absolutely unhinged in about 30 seconds. She is screaming about abandonment and emotional abuse and how I am proving everything she said about me. She actually looked directly at the camera and said, "I hope you are happy destroying a woman who was just trying to heal." Then she went inside and started live streaming. I wish I was kidding, but she immediately went live on Instagram with my husband, just abandoned me while I was on a healing retreat. The tears, the shaking hands, the whole performance. She told her 47K followers that I couldn't handle her growth and punished her for prioritizing her mental health. Within an hour, she had hundreds of comments calling me a narcissist, an abuser, telling her she dodged a bullet. She was eating it up, responding to every comment, building this narrative about how she survived emotional abuse, only to have her abuser discard her when she got too strong. But here is where it gets good. About 2 hours into her pity party live stream, her sister showed up. Madison's sister, who I mentioned before, the one who has been waiting for someone to call out Madison's victim act. She walked right into frame and said, "Madison, turn off the camera. We need to talk about the lies you have been telling about Jake." Madison tried to play it off like, Sarah's just upset because she doesn't understand the situation, but Sarah wasn't having it. She started listing things off. You told me Jake controlled your money while you had $90K in a secret account. You said he isolated you from family while he drove you to every single holiday dinner. You claimed he was emotionally unavailable while you were literally recording your private conversations for content. The comment section started turning. People were asking questions. Madison got flustered and ended the stream, but the damage was done. Within hours, Sarah had posted a whole thread on Twitter with receipts, screenshots of Madison bragging about her hidden income, admitting she exaggerated stories for engagement, even a voice message where Madison laughed about her followers believing she was practically a domestic abuse survivor. The thread went viral. Like, viral. It has been shared 50K times in 24 hours. Madison's follower count has dropped from 47K to 31K, and it is still falling. Her comment sections are full of people calling her out for trauma faking. Several of her sponsors have already dropped her, including that therapy app that was paying her $3K a month, but she is doubling down. This morning, she posted a long caption about how leaving an abusive marriage triggers family dysfunction, and how she is not surprised that people who enabled her abuser are now attacking her healing journey. She is claiming Sarah is trauma-bonded to family dysfunction, and that everyone calling her out is perpetuating abuse culture. The delusion is unreal. Meanwhile, I am actually okay, like really okay. I have been living in this tiny garage apartment for 2 weeks now, and I feel lighter than I have in years. No more walking on eggshells. No more wondering if every conversation is being recorded. No more feeling like I have to constantly prove I am not the monster she was painting me as. I am back playing basketball with the guys from work. I am sleeping through the night for the first time in months. I even went on a date last weekend with a nurse from the hospital, someone who actually understands the demands of emergency medicine instead of turning them into content about being neglected. My lawyer says the divorce should be straightforward now that Madison's public meltdowns have basically proven our case about her exploitative behavior. The financial misconduct alone is enough to get me a favorable settlement, and if she keeps posting defamatory content, we might pursue damages. The fire chief pulled me aside yesterday and said something that really hit home. Jake, we have all watched you get smaller and smaller over the past year. It is good to see you getting your confidence back. That is not what healthy marriages do to people. He is right. I didn't realize how much I had been shrinking myself to avoid becoming Madison's content. How much I had been apologizing for things that weren't my fault. Walking on eggshells to avoid her next toxic husband video. I am done being anyone's villain, especially in a story they are making up for profit. Edit. Madison posted another video this morning titled, "When Your Abuser Turns Your Family Against You." In it, she claims I manipulated her sister, and that the Twitter thread was clearly coordinated harassment by someone with narcissistic tendencies. The comments are not going her way. Even her die-hard followers are starting to question the narrative. Edit 2. My lawyer wants me to stop checking her social media for my own mental health, but also because we have enough evidence, and continued monitoring might be seen as harassment. She is right. I am focusing on my new life now. Final edit. For everyone asking what I have learned from this, the biggest thing is trusting my gut. I knew something was wrong for months, but Madison was so good at making me doubt my own reality that I thought I was the problem. If your partner makes you feel crazy for having normal reactions to abnormal behavior, pay attention to that feeling. And if someone treats your private pain as public entertainment, that is not love. That is exploitation. I am going to stop updating now. Madison can keep posting whatever narrative she wants. I am not playing that game anymore. I have got a life to rebuild, and for the first time in years, I am excited about it. Thanks for helping me see clearly, Reddit. Sometimes you need internet strangers to confirm that yes, your reality is real, and no, you are not the crazy one. I am finally free.